Hi, this is Palash Chakraborty, assistant teacher, Score High School and College. Welcome to my class. Dear students, we have some picture here on the screen. He is a famous personality. So from the picture, we can guess our topic today. This is Nelson Mandela, Apartheid fighter to president. Okay, let's see something about Mandela. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela was born on 18th July 1918 and died on 5th December 2013. He was a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary political leader who served as president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. So he is one of the most remarkable personality in the world's history. Okay, now it's time to know about his early life. Nelson Mandela was born in a small village in the southeastern region of South Africa called Transkei in 18th July 1918. His father was a chief of the village and a member of a royal family of the Thembu, who spoke the Xhosa language. He studied Bachelor of Arts and Law in Johannesburg, a city in South Africa. He started working as an article clerk in Johannesburg. He told in his biography, "No one in my family had ever attended in the school. So on the first day of school, my teacher, Miss Mdingen, gave each of us an English name. That was the custom among Africans in those days, and undoubtedly due to British bias of our education. That day, Miss Mdingen told me my new name was Nelson." Now we will go through the text analysis. Nelson Mandela guided South Africa from the shackles of apartheid to a multiracial democracy as an icon of peace and reconciliation, who came to embody the struggle for justice around the world. Here we go. That imprisoned for nearly 3 decades for his fight against white minority rule. That means there were less white people in Africa. Mandela never lost his resolve to fight for his people's emancipation. He was determined to bring down apartheid while avoiding a civil war. His prestige and charisma helped him win the support of the world. Here we can see a picture. There is an information here. On May 10, Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa in 1994. So we can see a quotation of him. "I hate race discrimination most intensely and in all its manifestation. I have fought it all during my life. I will fight it now and will do so until the end of my days." He said in his acceptance speech on becoming South Africa's first black president in 1994. Here we can see a picture of holding the most prestigious award in the world. In 1993, Mandela was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, an honor he shared with F.W. de Klerk, the white African leader who had freed him from prison 3 years earlier and negotiated the end of apartheid. We know that Nelson Mandela went on to play a prominent role on the world stage as an advocate of human dignity in the face of challenges ranging from political repression to AIDS. Here we can see him in the public gathering. He formally left public life in June 2004 before his 86th birthday, telling his adoring countrymen, "Don't call me, I'll call you." Here we see Mandela with Nadine Gordimer. Here is a quotation. "He is at the epicenter of our time, ours in South Africa and yours, wherever you are." Nadine Gordimer, the South African writer and Nobel laureate for literature, once remarked, "Now we have the picture of Rivonia trial. Here we have some points also. Leader of ANC, that means African National Congress, including Nelson Mandela, were tried for acts of sabotage attempting to overthrow the apartheid system. Most, including Mandela, were found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Robben Island prison near Cape Town. That was a major blow to the ANC. Okay, here is a text. "During my lifetime, I have dedicated myself to this struggle of African people. I have fought against white domination and I have fought against black domination." One of the most important speeches in the time of Rivonia trial. Here we can see the picture of Robben Island. He was arrested and imprisoned in 1962 and subsequently sentenced to life imprisonment for conspiring to overthrow the state following Rivonia trial. He was sent to the Robben Island as a prisoner. He served 27 years in the prison there. Free Mandela. So here is a quotation of him. "I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and a free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities," he told to the court. Here we can find a picture of ending apartheid in Africa, Mandela with Clark. Friends adored Mandela and fondly called him Madiba, the clan name by which he was known. People lauded his humanity, kindness and dignity. Here the picture of a book, an autobiography of Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom. We can know him well by reading his autobiography. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. I am prepared to die. As we liberated from our own fear, Our presence automatically liberates others. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. Some of his famous quotation. So the students, let's enjoy a short video on Nelson Mandela.
Our major weapon of struggle against apartheid oppression and exploitation is our people organized into mass formation of the democratic movement.
Nelson Mandela was an anti-apartheid activist and the first black president of South Africa. He was born Rolihlahla Mandela on July 18, 1918, in the rural village of Mvezo. A descendant of the Tembu royal family, Mandela's father served as a local chief and counselor to the king. His devout Christian mother enrolled him in a Methodist school, where he was given the English name Nelson. After his father's death, the 12-year-old Mandela was brought to the center of the Tembu monarchy to be raised by the king's regent. Living among the royal family exposed Mandela to powerful examples of black leadership that remained a source of influence throughout his life. Mandela attended the University College of Fort Hare and studied law at the University of Witwatersrand in Johannesburg. The school's only black student and a frequent target of racism, Mandela soon began to immerse himself in the world of radical politics. In 1944, he joined the African National Congress, an anti-colonialist political party that fought to enfranchise and empower the black population living under an oppressive white authority. Mandela helped to found the ANC's Youth League and quickly rose in its ranks alongside fellow activists Oliver Tambo and Walter Sisulu. With the National Party's rise to power in 1948, South Africa's racial inequality was officially codified under the system of apartheid. The government passed legislation that institutionalized discrimination and enforced the supremacy of the minority white population. Mandela and the ANC fought back, launching the Defiance Campaigns of 1952, a series of nonviolent direct actions uniting black, Indian, and communist coalitions through coordinated civil disobedience. The National Party swiftly cracked down on their efforts, jailing Mandela and banning him from the ANC. Before long, the campaign had died out. In 1956, Mandela and 155 colleagues were tried for treason. While they were ultimately acquitted, Mandela became convinced that apartheid would not fall without armed resistance. In 1961, he formed the MK, a militant branch of the ANC that committed targeted acts of sabotage against the government and its military. The MK's guerrilla tactics were effective, but in August 1962, Mandela was captured. Charged with conspiracy, he received a life sentence. Incarcerated at Robben Island, Mandela remained a symbol of black South African resistance. During his years behind bars, he continued his fight on a smaller scale, organizing against the prison's inhumane conditions through demonstrations and teach-ins. Calls for Mandela's freedom gradually built up global support, and South Africa's government buckled under growing pressure. Finally, in 1990, after 27 years, Mandela was released from prison. South Africa held its first open elections in 1994. The African National Congress, led by Mandela, won in a landslide. As president, Mandela prioritized national programs that expanded access to social services, education, and housing. His administration also established the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which served to investigate and confront human rights violations committed under apartheid. At the end of his first term in 1999, Mandela retired from politics. He continued to commit himself to activism, particularly in response to the AIDS crisis, until the end of his life. In 2013, Mandela died of a respiratory infection at age 95. He still stands as both the father of his nation and an international symbol of hard-won liberation.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Now we will learn some word meaning, which is very important for you. New words and meaning. Apartheid, discrimination, icon, symbol, shackles, stigma, Race discrimination. Differences on the basis of caste, creed and color. Manifestation. Sign. Reconciliation. The restoration of friendly relation. Resolve. Settle or find a solution. Charisma. Charm that can inspire devotion in others. Chasm. A profound difference between people. Emancipation. Salvation. Reward. Admiration. Laud. Praise. Thank you. Now it is time for evaluation. This is very important passage in your ACC syllabus. You have to prepare some answer of the question here. So here is the question. How long was Nelson Mandela imprisoned? Why? 2 marks. What was Nelson Mandela determined to do? 2 marks as well. What prominent role was played by Nelson Mandela on the world stage? Explain. What do you know about F.W. de Klerk? Why was he related with Nelson Mandela? And last question, who is described as an icon of peace and reconciliation? Can you explain the reason of this type of entitlement? So now prepare the answer and submit it in the group. So it is time to end the lecture. We will end with a speech of Mandela. Speech is, it always seems impossible until it's done. Thank you. Thanks for watching the video. Stay safe. Be blessed. Thank you.